everyone. So welcome to math for the week of October 5th. We are focusing on money this week, okay? So I've got a whole bunch of activities to show you, so let's just go ahead and get started. I showed this lesson before, but if they have not done it, they're going to be making their coin purse this week. So they can use their two jokers from their cards, or just a couple random cards, or even some index cards. And they can use their hole punch to punch the holes, and one or two of their pipe cleaners to wrap around and make a little coin purse with the big side open, and that is their coin purse. So they're going to be making that. So everybody got a bag of plastic coins. My third graders got them in their learning kit this year, and my fourth and fifth graders got theirs last spring in their learning kit. So hopefully you have your plastic coins, but you can also use real coins. In fact, I'll be using real coins for a couple of these activities that I'm going to be showing you. So if you have some coins around, it's time to collect those up, and so we can have a little bit of both. So one thing you can do with the coins is we're talking about the size of coins, and they're going to make a tower with their coins. And we all know that to make a tower nice and stable, it has to start with the bigger ones on the bottom and then make their way up. So we can start talking about that language of what is the biggest coin? It's quarters. So we're going to put those down first. What about the next biggest coin? So you're going to start to give them that language of it might be bigger, but it doesn't mean that it means that it is that much more. So like this dime is smaller than the nickel or the penny, but it's worth more. So it's confusing for them. So we're going to do everything we can to have them integrate that understanding that the next biggest coin then is a nickel. And they're going to stack their coins. And then what about the penny and the dime? Which one's biggest there? It looks like the penny is actually a little bit bigger than the dime. All right, and then you'll end up with the dimes, make your tower. Another fun little game for them is to make a bridge. So they start out with their biggest coins, and then they're going to stack either some more quarters or nickels and just slightly further in. So they start out with like an inch apart, and then they're adding coins, so they're just slightly further in. And then see if they can put the coin on top. And there is a little bridge. Okay, so fun things they can do with their hand-eye coordination with the coins. So a few things that we're going to be making we're going to be using those this week with my small groups and my Paris small groups. So one of those things is going to be a sorting mat. So everybody got some paper, the big white paper from their sensory kit in here. You're going to need 2 pieces of that. So you're taking one of those, and you're making a sorting chart, a sorting mat. So they're going to fold in half, and they're going to fold half again. Make a nice sharp crease. Okay. And they're going to trace the crease. After they've folded, they're going to trace. And then you're going to help them label these different categories. You can highlight and they can trace, and they're going to write penny 1 cent, nickel 5 cents, dime 10 cents, quarter 25 cents. And then once they've done that, they're going to start doing their rubbings. So what they're going to need for that is real nickel, dime, penny, and quarter, and their colored pencils out of their sensory kit. So they're just going to be putting the coin underneath that little section, and they're just going to put it on top like that, and they're going to pick a color, and they're going to sort of use the side of the pencil. They're not going to be going like this, but they're going to be just rubbing along here on this side. And oh, I see Abraham Lincoln showing up like that. And so I'd like for them to do at least 10 rubbings for each category. They can use lots of different colors, and they can start to really see the features on these different coins, okay? So that is their sorting mat. Now, you can use real coins, or you can just take a handful of your coins. Just call it a money grab. So they're going to just grab some random thing. They don't have to sort all of these, but so they're going to be doing some basic sorting. Once they've done that, there's a number of different activities they can do. So I'm putting all my dimes in one category, nickels, pennies, okay? So that is a good activity for them to start to be able to identify coins, okay? So you can start to ask questions like, which coin is there the most of? Which coin is there the least of? Are there more nickels or dimes? Are there more dimes than nickels? Which one has the most? Okay, so they're starting to analyze the different categories with their money grab of random coins, and so there's a bunch of different stuff that the paras will be doing with that as well. So we'll revisit this chart when I talk about para activities, but basically they're making their sorting chart. You're going to get another piece of this white paper, nice big white paper, and they're going to be making their number columns like this. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to take their big piece of paper, they're going to fold it over like this, lengthwise, make a nice crease. And then they're going to fold it over this way, and then fold it again, and then fold it again. Okay, so it looks like this now. Then they're going to open it up. So they're going to do another tracing activity with the fold. So they're going to trace these lines one across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down like that. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect at all, but basically that's what they're doing. And then on the top, you can highlight and they can trace. They're going to write 1 through 16 on the top. So this is their columns, their money column. So now they're going to just be putting the value on 1. And they can start to see it in these rows, which is really helpful for them to see that. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then time to put a nickel on for 5. And then for this first one, they're going to start with the pennies, go to the nickel, and then nickel again, and a penny, and so on. Okay, and when they get to 10, they're going to trade it in for a dime. All right, and when they get to 15, it's going to be a dime and a nickel. So there's one way to do that is just start with that way, that succession, and then it's time to try different ways of making those same values. So for 6, I might trade in my nickel for another 5 pennies. And they can start to see that 6 is also 6 pennies. You can also make 6 cents with a nickel and 1 penny. Okay? So another good visual way for them to start internalizing their coins. Okay? So the next thing is they're going to be needing a muffin tin and some muffin liners from your sensory kit. Everybody got these? So the next one is where they are putting the muffin liners into their muffin tins. And then you're going to write the numbers 1 through 12 on the bottom. Like that. 1. All the way to 12. Okay, and they're going to put those values in it. There's 1 penny and 1, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, 4 pennies, and 5. There's a nickel. And then continue on, and they can roll the dice and then fill up the containers, or they can just practice putting the right number of coins, value of the coin in the muffin liners. So another game you can play is try to get 3 or 4 in a row. So if you do your dice or card generators, number generators, you can see if you can, what did I get? 2. So I'm going to put 2 here. And then if you can fill 4 in a row or 3 down, that's like bingo. So you can play like a bingo game with them, with the muffin tins. And you can also put various other amounts. You could put 23 here, and they need to figure out, you can have them all random. But I think at first it's helpful for them to have it just in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so a bunch of fun activities that you can do with the muffin tins and the coins. Okay. Another great one is using your Play-Doh and doing a feel and find. So you can start by putting in just pennies, and you fold them in, and they have to pull them out with their fingers. Or you can do, just pennies and nickels and dimes, or you can do a combination of them, and you can put them in, and they need to take them out and then add them up. So let's see if I got a nickel and a penny in. I need to find them, and then they're going to identify what they are and how much they're worth. Okay, so that's a really good hand strengthener for handwriting, and it's a very nice sensory input opportunity for them. So the feel and find, strengthening those fingers, and identifying coins. Feel and find with the Play-Doh and the coins, plastic coins. Another thing they're going to be doing is they're going to be using their colored tongue depressors, a little bit of glue, some of your plastic coins, and you're going to be making these coin sticks, okay? So they're making these, and we're going to be using these in small groups and with the paras. So you're going to get 4 different colored sticks of the tongue depressor sticks, and you're going to glue one of the plastic coins on here, and nickel and dime and quarter, okay? And then they're going to write 1, the number 1, and they're going to write 1 cent. So it's going to look like this, okay? So they're doing that with 1 cent, 5 cents, 10 cents, and 25 cents. And you can help them. They can trace. You might start with pencil, and then they can trace with a Sharpie or one of their colored markers. Okay, so they're going to be making these, and we're going to be using these in small groups. Okay, so the number sticks. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to take just a piece of printer paper, okay? They're going to fold it in half, fold it in half again. Okay. And then they're going to open it up. They're going to do their tracing. And then you can help them. You can they can trace a highlighter, or they can do it themselves. They're going to make a big P, a big N, a big D, and a big Q for pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. And they can work on covering up the lines with their whatever the coin is. So for this one, it's pennies. So I'm going to line it with pennies. I'm going to make a P out of these coins. Do you see that? All right. And they're going to do the same thing with the nickels. Make sure you can see this. Nickels, you're going to put the nickels on N. And you're going to do the same thing with dimes and quarters. All right. This can also be a sorting mat. And it's also a way of using the money sticks, which would be a tapping game. So if you rolled a 5 and a 6, so that's 11. So you can use your single 1 cent, and you can tap it on the penny 11 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cents. Later on, they can also use the 5 cents. So they can go, now we're at nickel, 5, 10, 11. Okay? So they're listening, they're using their bodies to start to remember what the value is for each of these coins. Okay? So a little tapping game, first of all, covering the letters with the coins and then doing the tapping of the coins with the sticks. Okay? Another one that we may be doing in small groups or with the pairs as well. Another thing you can do is we're using the number line, okay? So we are going to be looking at money with the number line. So you could put 1 here, 1 penny, and then you're going to be using your glass blobs or some other small counter, and you're going to write that value right here. 1, 2 pennies. You're going to stack 2 of them up, and you're going to put 2 glass blobs in a row here. Okay, then I'm going to stack 3 of them up for my 3. Okay, and then I'm going to continue up. I'm going to be marking the value of the coin above the number line. I have 3 pennies there. I'm going to put 3 blobs there. Okay, so you can continue doing this. You can also do the same kind of thing with the number line. So, with the hundreds chart. So what they can do with the hundreds chart is they will be rolling the dice, finding the value, and then putting that amount on the hundreds chart. So if I rolled a 3, I'd put 3 on my 3 ones on my 3 pennies. Okay, and if I rolled an 11, I would put a 10 on the dime and then 1 more. Okay, so that would be 11. Okay, and they can continue doing that. You can also just start with having them put 1 on each, put the value of each 1, 2, and all the way up. You know, you can go up to 25. You can also start to have them count by 5s. So we're we're bringing in the skip counting again here. So for this one, I would put my nickels on the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, okay, and they're counting, they're skip counting, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 cents, okay? So you can do your nickels, and then they can skip count, and then they can do their dimes. And they can count by tens. 10, another dime, 20, 30, 40, okay, 50, etc. So they're using their hundreds chart to show the value of the coins and to start for them to be practicing their skip counting again by 5s and 10s. And then you can also do 25. And then another is, then the next one is 50, and then the next one is 75, and then the next one is 100, so they can start to see that too, okay? So another thing you can do with the coins is you're going to be using the grid here, okay? And you can start to do number patterns with your grid and your coins. So you can start with an ABAB. Penny, nickel on your grid. Okay, actually, you know what, going this way lengthwise gives them a little more opportunities to make their pattern lengthwise like this. Okay, and you can continue on. You can do nickels and dimes, or pennies, nickels and dimes. You can do 1 penny. You can do, and then do 2 nickels, and then 3 dimes, and 4 quarters. And you can continue. You can make the pattern again. Okay, you might just use 1 of each, 1 nickel, 1 penny, 1 dime, and 1 quarter, and then continue that pattern. All right, so we'll be using our random number generators. The pairs will be using their dice and cards with you to do some interesting patterns, okay? The last thing is, last but not least, is making a store or a restaurant at your house and practicing that way. So here's what I would do. I got a few different things, and I used a Post-it note to label the prices on these things. And then the student is challenged to try to buy these different items. Okay? So I'm going to start with cents, and then I'm going to also do counting by 5s. I think that's a really good practice for them. It'll be easier that way. So here we go. I have some supplies. I've got some crayons for 20 cents. I've got a little noisemaker I made for 4 cents. I got another noisemaker I made that I'm selling for 5 cents. The glue stick is 25 cents. And the sand timer is 10 cents. And the scissors are 15 cents. So they can be challenged. How would you buy this one, right? You could either buy it with 5 pennies or a nickel. You could also start talking about change. What if you only have a dime? You only have a dime to do that. So what would the person who's selling it, they would have to give you back 5. This is going to take a lot of repetition, but the more you ground it in practical things and just finding different ideas around the house, they'll start to really internalize this stuff, okay? So you can also play with your different stuffed animals, you know. We might do some small groups where we take turns selling and buying from each other. And the Post-it notes are nice because they're nice and big and they can see the prices of everything. And they can be a challenge to buy one thing. How many ways can you buy this one? Or they can start to add them up. So, you know, I've got 10 cents here and 4 cents. What coins would I use if I wanted to get both the hourglass and the sound maker, okay? So you can also have a lot of fun doing this with dinner. You can say, okay, we're having a little, you know, what the menu is for the night, and they have to come and they have to pay for the entree and the drink and whatever else. You can make it really fun. So those are the money activities for the week. I have some more money activities that are coming up in my sensory video, some science and some other movement activities with money. So have fun, and we'll see you next time.